So I took, and at the same time, I was seeing clients on the side. And again, because it was a different era, I was just doing grocery store tours. I was getting people off. This was before anyone could pronounce quinoa. No
Yeah.
one, it was like, quinoa.
Quinoa.
Yes, yes, it was a different era. And because we didn't have social media and all this media around body positivity, and we didn't even have the words diet culture yet, I thought I was the only one with this crazy relationship to food. But as I started working with clients in tandem, after about the fourth session, we'd stop talking about food. And there
Mm.
were these shifts that were happening, and I didn't know what was working, what wasn't working. And I took this same, we could call it a functional medicine, we could call it holistic systems in academia, but I was like, us falling off track or not being able to keep up feeling good, I no longer believe this is a willpower and discipline problem. Like, what if this is the symptom, just like my IBS and depression and acne was? Like, what if there's other root causes? And so that's when I went back to grad school and realized that we actually turn to food when we feel unsafe.
Mm.
By unsafe, I mean, yes, physically unsafe if you're not getting the physical nutrients that you need. Not necessarily your type of physical safety that you're so brilliant at helping people with.
Thank you.
But as adults, safety is really about belonging.
Mm.
So do I feel like I belong here? And the way that's kind of a more academic wisdom term, but how it shows up for clients and everyday people is, when do I feel separate? When do
Mm.
I feel like, why isn't this happening for me? Right?
Right, right.
Whether it's our businesses, whether it's a relationship, whether it's finances, it's like something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
And we may not think something's wrong with me, but we may feel just like, and it comes out as our food choices, right? I have some clients right now and they go out and it's like, I don't want to be the high maintenance one by being like, I'm ordering this, or I don't like this vegetable, right? Um, but it
My
also,
husband still makes fun of me. Sorry. Every time I order fish at a restaurant, I have to ask, like, is it wild caught? I just don't eat farm raised seafood. Sidebar. That's my own thing. But he's always like, do you have to ask the name of the fish and like all of these things
who were
before?
its parents? Did it have a good life?
Yeah, exactly. Oh gosh.
So
But I
that is,
don't care about being high maintenance. That's the
no,
difference.
yeah. Well, but and part of the work is like, is that high maintenance or you're discerning? And
Right.
there's a reason why you don't want to eat farm fish,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So this is about
Separate
really,
podcast.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Are you being a burden or is it the fact that you have needs
Yeah.
and everyone has needs? So
Mhm.
the work is really changing the meaning of what it feels like to the
Advocate for yourself.
yes, yes, yes. So I found that basically we have these stories, we can call them beliefs for purposes that people understand. We have these beliefs that make us feel isolated and separate. And then we don't bring certain parts of ourselves to the conversation. We don't bring certain parts of ourselves to our work, certain parts of ourselves to the thing we're struggling with.
Mm.
And we need those parts to actually succeed. And when we're stressed, feeling isolated or separate, we then turn to food because food stimulates attachment chemicals. Because from
Mm.
the time that we are
Like
born,
oxytocin?
yeah, yes. It won't give us, and this is Dr. Deborah McNamara's work in her book Nourished, she's a child developmental psychologist. She talks about food will stimulate attachment chemicals, but it won't give us the deeper belonging, the sense that like, oh my God, someone's here to help me. Someone's got
Mm.
my back. Um, and that's a bigger risk that we have to take, and that's actually what we really want most deeply. But food almost does the job. So Dr. McNamara's mentor, Dr. Gordon Newfield, he has this quote that I love. He says, "There's nothing quite as addicting as something that almost works."
Mm.
And it's like food
Ouch.
almost fucking works.
Yeah. 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 Almost.
Almost, right?
Almost.
So
Hmm.
if we look at like in hindsight now, right, with my anxiety season, what eventually got me to stop binging was not a bigger plan to not have sugar in the house, not more rules and like regulation. It was, what do I need? And I had a really big story around, sometimes I still get emotional, my cancer being such a burden to my
Mm.
family, to just everyone around me. And so when I would be heading, like preparing for these scans, my parents would call and be like, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm fine." And I always felt this like need to protect them. And so I had to start saying, I'm scared. These are really hard.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, we wish we could be there with you." I could like cry. My parents are wonderful. And it
Mm.
was like sharing that was like, "Oh, I'm belong. I have the support I need right here."